The owner of this beautiful red Mazda CX-5 bought this car as a present for Christmas for her daughter. However, at the end of the day, he's the one who got surprised. Here is why. As soon as he drove it off from the dealership, a bunch of warning lights came on the dashboard, such as the DPF warning light, traction control, SCBS, so the smart city brake system warning light, and also the check engine light. He then took it back to the dealership. After 5 weeks, he got the car back, but it wasn't fixed. Then he reached out to us and also mentioned that probably carbon cleaning has been done to the car, to the engine, while it was with the dealership or the guys who sold it. However, he also said that the guy or the seller told him that he can't reimburse him for the purchase, so it stays on him at the moment, and here we are at this point in our garage. So let's have a look at it, what is wrong with it, what has been done to it, and what's the solution to fix this car. It has two fault codes, the P0101 and the P06DE fault code. The first fault code is about the mass airflow sensor. It is complaining about the airflow of the engine. The second one is related to the engine oil pressure. So let's have a look under the bonnet and see what has been done to the car, what we can spot. The owner said that the seller claimed that carbon cleaning has been done to it. So let's verify that first. How to do that? Basically check that clamp, which is on the coolant hose, as you can see, and the side which you can pinch is facing towards us, and the factory position is facing towards the driver or to the cabin, so meaning the intake manifold has been removed, which let us believe that the carbon cleaning has been indeed carried out. However, we will see that soon. The P0101 fault code can be triggered by high carbon buildup inside the engine, so intake manifold EGR parts, but also it can be triggered if the exhaust camshaft is worn. So let's check that if the valve cover has been removed, and we see the factory silicone sealant sticking out from underneath the valve cover, which leads us to the belief that it hasn't been removed, so that is not sorted. So one of the two main reasons for the P0101 has been sorted, the other one hasn't. Also, the second fault code is oil pressure related. The oil pressure problem is usually because the injector washers are blowing out, and it lets carbon deposits form or sit around the injector hose, which then gets further washed down to the oil sump here where the timing cover sits, and then it blocks the strainer and it has reduced oil pressure. However, when I connected the scan tool and checked the live data, the engine oil was at 20 degrees of Celsius of oil temperature, and the oil pressure was 450 kilopascals. Guys, if you know, and if you're watching the videos a little bit longer, you may know that it is way too high. It usually sits around 360 kilopascals if you rev the engine over 3000 RPM. So how is it too high, yet it is complaining about the oil pressure? Obviously, it can also complain about high oil pressure, but when I let the car idle for a little bit and the oil temperature got warmer, the pressure decreased, and by a lot. So it went below 300 and it got to only 200 kilopascals when I was revving the car over 3000 RPM. Then we lifted the car and noticed something very strange, which I will show you guys. The car is up in the air, and let's have a look what we can see from underneath it. For the time being, ignore the fact that the oil sump has been removed. The more important for us is the silicone, or the color of the silicone sealant. It is black. The factory silicone sealant from Mazda is white, which tells us the oil pan has been removed previously before us. So it suggests that someone already tried to sort or fix the oil pressure problem. Usually what they do is they just replace only the strainer and leave the top untouched, and it blocks again. So let's have a look if that's the case here as well on this car. And unfortunately not. Why I'm saying unfortunately? Because this strainer supposed to have a mesh, a plastic mesh inside, which is clearly not there. So what happened? They poked it through and destroyed that mesh completely, removed that mesh what they could reach, and I will tell you what is wrong with it. First and foremost, we strongly believe that is a very dodgy repair, if you even can call this a repair. But why it is a problem? It's very simple, because everything what's inside the oil gets to the oil pump and the bearings as well unfiltered. Some may say that the oil filter is still there, like the regular oil filter, which is true. However, the first thing the oil gets picked up by is the oil pump, and then it further distributes the oil to the engine, which may damage the bearings. And bear in mind, guys, that this car was driven after this repair. We have to clarify, we don't know who's done it. We're not even interested in a way that it is not our thing to solve it or investigate it, who's done it, who's not. We don't know what garage it was, or if it was a garage, whatever, we don't care. We just only see the problem and then tell the facts. So why it is a big problem? Because at this point, for us to give warranty on our work, we can only do it if we remove the engine and split it in half. The reason for that, because we need to see the crankshaft if it has suffered any damage, and also we need to see not only the rod bearings, which we could theoretically replace only by just removing the oil pump and replacing the rod bearings in the con rods. However, we can't do that with the main bearings. For that, we need to remove the engine, split it in half, check the rod bearings, the condition of them, and then very likely they will need replacement, but it is yet to be confirmed. So stay tuned. We're going to remove the engine very soon, and you will see the condition of the main bearings and the rod bearings. And that's why it is at this point a write-off, in a sense that the repair will cost maybe more than the car, like what the owner paid for it, or very close to the value of the car at the moment. However, he is in a very bad situation, so he either sells it as spares and repairs and take a huge loss, or get it fixed again for very expensive money, but at least he will have a car. Because if he then sells it just for spares and repairs, he will have to buy another car again, which is a risky thing nowadays, because you don't know what you are getting, unfortunately. So he went ahead with the repairs, and rather have a car which will last him after these repairs quite long, 10 years easily, or 100,000 miles without any further problems. But enough of talking, let's have a look at that crankshaft and the bearings. The engine is out, and now we are checking the turbos. We're checking the small turbo first, the small turbine wheel, for any play, and also how easy it is to move the turbine wheels. It doesn't have any play, which is good, but neither it moves, which is not so good, unfortunately. So that is seized solid. And let's have a look at the top one. This one has a play. And let's have a look if it moves freely. Yeah, this one moves freely. From the two, we can make one. Ben have removed and disassembled the engine, so basically he split it in half. Let's have a look at the cradle, like how the main bearings look like. They are all scored, as you can see. I would even dare to say they were not far from seizing. I mean, the crankshaft was not far from getting seized. Let's have a look at the other side of the bearings. Also, in that groove you can find a solid carbon particle piece. So that is from what the oil strainer wasn't filtering, Also you can see that there, beautiful. And let's have a look at the rod bearings. They are all scored, and this one, as you can see, has a carbon particle or pieces on the bearing material, so this one has as well. And here is the crankshaft itself. I don't know how long the car was driven, like with the poked oil strainer, but as you can see, guys, it's definitely not a solution under any circumstances. Let's have a look at it from the top. This is the carbon buildup, and the camshaft looks not worn. And here lies the problem. So injector number 1, the washer was blowing out on the injector number 1, and that was causing the oil pressure problem in the first place. So the proper solution, and a lot cheaper solution, would be to replace all 4 injector washers and remove this blowout or build-up around the injector hole, get it cleaned, replace the oil strainer, replace it, not poke it through, and then put the car back together, and it can run for a long time after that. Also, definitely it would have benefited from carbon cleaning, which we will carry out anyways because it is part of this job, and also exhaust pressure sensor, vacuum pump replacement and other bits. But if it would have been done properly on the first place, then it would be a lot cheaper. The engine build is slowly getting there. Ben did put back the 2 camshafts, the timing chain, the timing cover, and also the oil pump is on the car with the oil strainer, the replaced oil strainer. Let's have a look at the old one. Look at this. So they completely removed the plastic mesh from inside. Which means in order to do that, they had to remove the strainer. So to be honest, I don't understand why they've done it that way. If they removed this one, they could have just replaced it straight away. Obviously, guys, if you have oil pressure problem, the strainer replacement only is not enough. You need to also make sure the cylinder head is clean from any like carbon deposits, particles, which usually forms around the injector hose as the washers are blowing out, and then it gets washed down in the timing cover. So you make sure you clean those carbon particles around the injector hose, and if any may have fallen into the cylinder head, you need to clean that as well. Then that's how you fix the oil pressure problem. But let's have a look at the other side of the engine as well, because it has clean intake ports now. There you go. It's not too far from here to get it up and running again, just needs to be dressed up. I mean, the valve cover has to be put back, intake manifold, the turbo, the DPF, and it can go back to the car and it can be started in a bit. The engine is now running, as you can see for here, guys, and now I'm taking it for a test drive, which will be roughly around 60 to 80 miles. I came back from the test drive. I drove the car for 104 miles. It was all fine on the test drive. The reason why we are doing these long test drives, because we need to make sure that we are giving back the car in a good condition. So that's the biggest reason, obviously. And also, if anything happens, we want it to happen for us or to us during the test drive, testing the car, rather than once we give it back to the customer and something comes up to them. Sometimes it happens, unfortunately, but we want to make sure we give back the car in a good condition. After this test drive, we're still going to lift the car up and check it on from underneath and also from the top for any leaks, such as coolant, oil or fuel leak. Hopefully there won't be any, and if there won't be any, obviously we can give the car back finally to the customer. So guys, as you could see, this was it basically. This is how we fixed that Mazda, and unfortunately, very unfortunate situation what the customer, the owner of that car was in, that he had to go through all this procedure because of an incorrect repair. I wouldn't even call that a repair, that was, to be honest, a very dodgy one. So basically they poked a hole through the oil strainer, and what that did basically let everything, the unfiltered oil, go through the oil galleries and all that inside the engine, and obviously you've seen what damage it done. So basically we rebuilt the engine for him, now it is fine. I can compare that to the DPF deletes, which is very common in this country, and also that is not a proper solution, because very often and usually what happens, basically something else is making the DPF to regen too frequently or getting it blocked in the first place, and what they do is they delete the DPF software wise and also internally got it, and that's how they get rid of the fault, obviously because they map it so it won't show the fault codes, but it's not a fix at all, because if you have carbon buildup, no matter what you do to the DPF, the engine won't be healthy, it won't be functioning, working properly as it should, as it is intended to do. And the same with the oil strainer. The oil strainer is there for a reason, to filter whatever can get into the engine. If that was, or when, as it was poked out or poked through, it didn't do anything. Basically, as I said, it just let everything go through it, and then unfiltered oil with carbon deposits, carbon particles inside, just went through the oil galleries and scored the bearings. Luckily it didn't damage the crankshaft, so obviously we can reuse the customer's crankshaft, but unfortunately we had to rebuild the engine for him. Yeah, so basically that was it. Thank you guys very much for watching. See you soon in the very next video. Take care. Bye bye.